This video is for all candidates who need to register for and book to take any of the following online admissions tests in a Pearson VUE test centre as part of their Oxford application. Ancient History and Classical Archaeology admissions test, Biomedical Sciences admissions test, Classics admissions test, Mathematics admissions test, Modern Languages admissions test, Physics admissions test, Philosophy admissions test, and the Thinking Skills Assessment. If you're applying for law, go to the LNAT website. If you're applying for medicine or graduate entry medicine, go to the UCAT website. In this video, we will explain how you arrange to take your Oxford admissions test. First, how to register, and then how to book your test appointment. You can register to take your Oxford admissions test anytime from the 18th of June until the 19th of September, 6 p.m. BST. To do this, you must have already started your UCAS application, as you will need your UCAS ID when you register. If you require access arrangements, for example extra time, then please watch our other video outlining this process. From the 18th of August, registered candidates will be able to book their test anytime until the 26th of September, 6 p.m. BST. We strongly recommend registering for your test before booking opens. You are also advised to book a test as soon as possible after the 18th of August, as test centre bookings are allocated on a first-come, first-served basis. First, you'll need to create a user account and profile on the Oxford Admissions Test registration portal. As part of this process, you'll be asked for your UCAS ID number. You can start your UCAS application anytime from the 13th of May, and it is important that you do this before registering for your test. You do not need to submit your UCAS application to obtain your UCAS ID, but you will need to provide some initial information about yourself. Once you start an application with UCAS for 2026, your UCAS ID will appear in the top right-hand corner under your personal ID number. You must use the same email when registering with UCAS and for your Oxford admissions test. It's important you do this, otherwise we may not be able to match your test registration with your application to Oxford and your test may be withdrawn. To create your admissions test account profile, go to the Oxford Admissions Test registration portal. Once you have provided your email address and a password, you will be sent a validation link to ensure your email address is correct. After validating your email, you will be shown a guidance page. Please read this carefully before progressing, as it contains important advice and will help you give the correct information. When you continue, you will be asked for some personal information. It is very important that your legal name and surname correctly match your ID documents, as this is what Pearson VUE will check when verifying your identity at the test centre. If the legal name you use to register is different from what is on the ID you take to the test centre, you will not be permitted to take your test. On the contact information page, a phone number is required, in case Pearson VUE or Oxford need to contact you about your booking. Your address is also necessary to help identify your nearest Pearson VUE test centres. After this, you will be prompted to provide your UCAS ID and indicate your chosen course. You will then be automatically registered for any test you need to take. If your course requires you to take more than one test, you'll be registered for both. You will then be asked if you require access arrangements. When you select No, you will be directed to the summary page, where you should carefully review the information you have entered. At this point, you can go back and make changes if you have made any errors, so check this carefully before you submit and confirm that your information is correct. Once you have successfully registered for your test, you'll be returned to your test account dashboard, where you should scroll down to see on-screen confirmation. If you have any concerns about your registration, You can also use the secure messaging system available on your dashboard. Or if you have a question before registering, go to ox.ac.uk/tests. On the 18th of August, your dashboard will be updated to include a direct link to Pearson VUE's Test Centre search, where you can select a test centre and book your test yourself. All 2025 Oxford tests are scheduled to take place on particular days between the 21st and 27th of October. Some will only take place on one day. Others will take place over 2 or more days. You can check when your test is happening via ox.ac.uk/tests. Suggested test centres will be those available nearest to the address you entered when creating your Oxford admissions test profile. When booking your test, if you know you'll be somewhere else on your test day, you can override these suggestions using the Find a Test Centre functionality. For tests that are on multiple days, you will also be able to select which day you wish to sit. You may be able to change the location of your test up until the 26th of September, but please note that late changes cannot be guaranteed. You won't be able to reschedule a test booking after the deadline at 6 p.m. BST on the 26th of September. The final, very important step after you have reviewed your booking details is to scroll to the bottom of the page and select the Submit Order button. Once you have successfully booked your test, you'll receive an automated confirmation email from Pearson VUE. This will provide your test date, your appointment time and duration, and the address of the test centre you've selected with directions. Remember, test centre bookings are allocated on a first-come, first-served basis, so the sooner you do this, the better. If you would like any guidance on booking and test centres, you should contact Pearson VUE customer service in the first instance, either by phone or email. Their contact details are available on their website. For more information and guidance on Oxford University's undergraduate admissions tests, go to ox.ac.uk/tests. We wish you all the best with your Oxford application.